I didn't know that he would tell me to do something that was illegal.
An electric cooperative and its CEO under federal investigation.
I found out it was illegal in February of 2024, this year.
For deleting emission systems from its diesel fleet, a move that cost the CEO his job, and the man who led the charge to fire the head of this power co-op.
Well, since this is a criminal investigation, I'm going to read your rights, okay? Because I don't know where this conversation is going to go.
Says someone's coming for him.
If anybody doesn't believe it's a conspiracy, just listen to what I'm telling you. Look at the facts that we have. Somebody somewhere is pulling some strings to get them to come to put heat on me.
Chesterfield County 911.
A call for help in November 2023 brought three of the most powerful Chesterfield County law enforcers to the Lynch's River Electric Cooperative. But this call didn't go through the 911 center. It went directly to someone at the Chesterfield County Sheriff's Office.
There's a lot that a lot of people don't know about the co-op. It's a great place.
The caller, co-op CEO Brian Broughton. Sheriff Kembo Streeter, Captain Wayne Jordan, and the second in command of the Sheriff's Investigative Unit, Sergeant Daniel Scott, showed up. Broughton told the sheriff he and co-op employee Bo Burch received 5 unwanted text messages from a phone number they didn't know. Broughton reported receiving 3 messages, and Bo Burch reported 2. The incident report shows Broughton thought there were 2 potential suspects. He is having issues with a former employee who wants to return, and a co-op board member who is attempting to have him removed as president and CEO. Those messages launched a criminal investigation with the sheriff's lead investigator, Wayne Jordan, working to hunt down the person behind those text messages. One of our first questions, what was it about this investigation that caused the county's top lawman and his 2 top investigators to drop what they were doing, get into a patrol truck, and drive the half hour to the co-op office? I want to talk to you about the Lynch's River text message investigation. We found Sheriff Kembo Streeter at a council meeting last month to find out. What was your involvement in that investigation?
Citizens ask us to look into potential threatening texts or potentially criminal, and that's what we do.
Do you often end up going out, involving yourself in calls around the county? I mean, what level of call would you be involved with on the front end like this?
It all depends. It all depends on what it is. I'm often out. I mean, I was out the other night, and it's usually a manpower thing, who's available. I think the captain of investigations had the case and asked me to go with him. Didn't have another investigator available. So.
But that wasn't true. The sheriff's own incident report shows there was another veteran investigator there that day, Sergeant Daniel Scott.
I did take a little longer. I just kind of like rode along with it as a second set of eyes in there.
So
which is common.
Yes, sir. So the incident report actually says it was you, your lead investigator, and your second in command in the investigations who went. So you got 2 of your top investigators and the sheriff on a text message call. Is that odd?
No, I've often been out on cases with all the different investigators. So,
did you find any criminal acts from what you reviewed had occurred?
We weren't far enough into it. When I realized, like I said, the jurisdictional issues, we called, say it took over the investigation, and we backed out of it. So we did not find anything at that time. Nobody was charged by us, to answer your question. Sir. I mean, but it was the very beginning of the investigation. We didn't know. We really hadn't done a lot of digging.
But the sheriff's office did work on the case. The first business day of the new year in 2024, Captain Wayne Jordan went to the magistrate's office and asked a judge for a search warrant. Jordan wanted to serve the warrant on Apple for iCloud email address westville19067 at iCloud.com. Captain Jordan wanted the email owner's name, all messages, photos, videos, and GPS location data stored on the account. Co-op board member Kevin Sims knew that email address well. A month later, Captain Jordan was on the other end of the phone looking for Kevin Sims.
He said, "I'd like to come sit down and talk with you, have some questions. What's it pertaining to?" And he said, "Lynch's River." And I said, "Sure." I said, "I don't have a problem talking to you." He said, "Well, when's a good time?" And I said, "Well, I mean, I'm available anywhere, anytime." And he's like, "Well, I'm up here at Lancaster County Sheriff's Department right now." He said, "Would you like to come up here?" And I said, "Not really. I'm down here in Kershaw County feeding my grandbaby." I said, "But I can be at my house in 30 minutes. If you want to question me, just come to my house." And he agreed.
Captain Jordan got the first search warrant from the magistrate on January 2nd, 2024. 2 days later, he got a second search warrant, this time from the state's most senior, longest-serving circuit court judge, Paul Burch. It was an electronic search warrant. Judge Burch signed remotely. The judge told me it was the first time he's ever issued one of those in Chesterfield County. The warrant contains an order telling Apple Incorporated it cannot tell anyone about the search warrant for Sims's email address. It appears that the information sought is relevant and material to an ongoing criminal investigation, and Apple telling anyone about the search warrant would seriously jeopardize the investigation. In Captain Jordan's affidavit to Burch, the investigator believed the subscriber, in this case Kevin Sims, would destroy or tamper with evidence if notified of the search warrant.
Mr. Kevin, I'm Wayne Jordan. I'm with the Sheriff's Office.
4 days after Judge Burch issued that secret search warrant, Captain Wayne Jordan was at Sims's home, questioning him about that iCloud email address that Apple couldn't tell anyone about. Coming up.
You know, that's all we had, which was nothing.
I know.
There's no way we'd even tried to get a warrant on anything like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Basically, what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way is, to me, it's a conspiracy.
Are you aware that the sheriff himself has even said that he found no criminal conduct in these text messages when he investigated it?
I'm not aware of that.
When Power Play continues after the break.
My name is Aaron.
Kevin,
I'm just helping him find his way.
we sit down and talk for a little bit?
No, we good. You want to come in the house?
You mind?
I got a barking dog. Let's sit outside back in the back home.
I appreciate that.
Chesterfield County Sheriff's Captain Wayne Jordan, with a Lancaster County deputy and a body camera rolling, showed up to Kevin Sims' Lancaster County home 13 months ago.
Mr. Kevin, I'm Wayne Jordan. I'm with the Sheriff's Office in Chesterfield, and I'm doing contact about a harassment case that's going on over at Lynch's River.
Lord, everybody's getting in.
Everybody's getting them.
Oh,
Are
yeah.
you getting them?
I've got death threats.
From who?
I don't know. They called me in the middle of the night.
You don't know who from?
No, I just hung the phone up on them. Eventually it stopped.
It was the first time Sims says he learned he was the target of the text message criminal investigation.
It's an investigation, so I'm going to have to read you your rights, all right?
Yeah, okay.
You understand?
Yeah,
So basically,
explain this to me, because I'm lost.
And just like in the movies,
yeah, your rights are you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you in a court of law. So we can talk.
Yeah.
And if you get to the point where you say, "Hey, I ain't gonna answer your questions no more. I'm getting
I don't
attorney,"
have
we'll
nothing to hide on nothing.
we'll just
No,
stop.
no.
So you understand all that?
Oh, yeah.
a few minutes into the interview, the sheriff's lead investigator questioned Sims about that burner phone email address.
Do you have an iCloud account?
Yeah, Westfield 29067 at iCloud.com.
That's your account.
That's my account, yep.
I've been doing some investigations. I've done some search warrants. I've done some cell phone search warrants on some cell phones. Have you ever heard of the phone number 704-318-9695?
Should I call it to see if it's in my contacts?
See, 'cause it's not
That's a
call
North
it.
Carolina number, right?
Yeah, just see if you know that number.
I don't know that number unless it's in
You
my
don't know it at all? So can you tell me why your iCloud account is on that phone number's contact information as being the iCloud account that's associated with that 704 number?
No. I cannot tell you that. I have no idea, but it is.
The captain described these 5 texts sent to Co-op CEO Brian Broughton and Co-op employee Bo Burch as unlawful and harassing communications. Sims says he had no idea what those texts said at the time. He asked to see them, but the investigator would not show them to him.
That's a burner phone. That's what that phone is.
It's a track phone, burner
It's a
phone.
burner phone.
I don't do track phones or burner phones. I run a business in town. How can my email address be on there?
When they bought this phone and activated this phone, they've taken that email address and it's attached to that phone. So basically what it looks like to me, if you want to know my 100%.
Oh, I know what it looks like.
It looks like
you.
to me
I'm not
that-
dummy. It looks like that I got that phone and
looks like-
activated my email
Yes, sir.
address on it.
Yes, sir.
But my question for you is, who would do that?
Well, that's why I'm asking you.
Yeah,
Because
I have no idea.
it's your email address and it's attached to that burner phone that's doing all this communicating the unlawful.
What are they communicating?
Well, they texting a bunch of employees over there. They're harassing them.
Can you be specific?
Yeah, I mean.
I don't listen. I wish I'd come to Lancaster now so you could get Barry Fell. Barry Fell tell you I'm better than that. I ain't got nothing to do with this.
I mean,
just because they got my email.
I mean, somebody had, how, I didn't know what your email address was.
Well, man, everybody that I deal with on my Facebook page or anything's got my email on it. In my restaurant, at the co-op, they got all that at the co-op.
So you think they just gonna put that on a burn phone?
Listen, the stuff's going on down there. Yes, sir, I can believe that 100%. Somebody would do that, without a doubt. What's upsetting about it is they use my email address, so that looks like somebody's trying to set me up. I think somebody's playing games. That's my opinion. You got too much. Y'all got too much to do and worry about. This is Mickey Mouse.
Jordan told Sims the investigation was serious and he had the state's top law enforcement agency on the case.
I got SLED involved. If you want to know that, I've got them involved.
Yeah. Well,
they're looking at phone records for me. They're tracking phones. They're doing GPS. They're doing GPS coordinates and stuff like that. So hopefully by the end of the week, I'm gonna have all that plotted out, and I'll know exactly where the phone was at when it made the phone call.
Yeah,
I heard the text message.
When that Chesterfield County investigator tells you that the state law enforcement division is involved,
oh, that's big. That's a big deal. This could be trouble. And I mean, I've done nothing wrong to worry, but when you start talking about SLED or FBI or anything like that, things happen. And he said, well, I'm just here to ask. I said, well, I'm here to tell you. And I began to get aggravated because the tone he was using, I felt like he was trying to strong arm me.
Weeks passed after the sheriff's investigator left his house. Sims then went on the offensive. The following month, he called Sheriff Cambo Streeter to find out if Wayne Jordan's investigation was real.
In their computer system, there was nothing on me. There was nothing on Wayne Jordan leaving Chesterfield County, coming to Lancaster County to interview me. No record of anything.
And the sheriff had no idea?
Cambo Streeter had no idea. He told me he had no idea, and he emailed me the only incident report they had at the time. I don't think it had any subjects in there that they thought may have had done the text message.
When we met with Kevin Sims last October,
Sheriff's office?
Yes, ma'am. I'm calling to make an inquiry. Can you tell me if you have an investigation or incident report on me? My name is Barry Kevin Sims.
He didn't know that a body camera recording of his interview with the investigator existed. He found out when we asked the Lancaster County Sheriff for it. Sims also couldn't get any confirmation from Chesterfield County that the sheriff condoned his lead investigator coming to his house 9 months before.
And you would be the offender?
Well,
Is that what you're
yes, ma'am. Back when Wayne Jordan came to my house, yes, ma'am, I guess I would have been. He questioned me here, and I'm trying to find out if there was a report done on it or anything filed.
I don't have anything for Barry Sims, S-I-M-S.
How about my middle name's Kevin, Barry Kevin Sims?
Nothing under a Kevin?
Around the time those texts came in, Sims says he was knee-deep digging into multiple allegations against co-op CEO Brian Broughton and the co-op administration. Sims admittedly was the loudest critic of his co-op's head man in late 2023.
I would like to know who sent those. I would.
Did you have anything to do with these
No,
texts?
sir. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Thank you.
In a call with the sheriff just 2 months ago and a year after this interview, the sheriff still had no idea his lead investigator left Chesterfield County to interview Kevin Sims.
You didn't even know he come out here, did you, Cambo? I know it wasn't in none of your dispatch, didn't know anything about it.
No, I didn't know he came. I didn't know he went out there.
Yeah, he come out here and read me my rights, and that's what made me so mad. But I didn't know if you knew he come out here or not, but he sure did.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
See, that tells me something wasn't on the up and up there.
No, I didn't know we went out there.
The sheriff told Sims from what he knew of the allegations at the outset, there wasn't a crime committed.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. That was a while back.
Yeah.
We did go over there and we met in the office over there, and I don't remember your name coming up. To be honest with you.
Yeah. And that's what's got me bothered too, because they're saying that Paul Burch signed warrants, and how in the world could that be probable cause for search warrants for some kind of text message like that?
And that's all we had.
Right.
That's all we had, which was nothing.
I know.
There's no way we'd even tried to get a warrant on anything like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But the sheriff's lead investigator did get 2 search warrants after the sheriff's office meeting with the co-op CEO last November. We went to the sheriff looking for clarity on what he told Kevin Sims about Wayne Jordan's house call.
What did your captain of investigations do after taking the incident report that day with you?
I have no idea. It wasn't long after that we realized that there were multiple counties involved, and we asked Led to take over the investigation.
Were you aware that he went and put a man under Miranda warning and then questioned him in a criminal investigation over this?
Yeah, I'm aware of that. He was continuing the investigation, but then we realized that it was multiple jurisdictions. We backed out of it.
And you're aware of the search warrant that your captain got?
I am aware of that.
I got to show you this.
We asked Brian Broughton to interview with us about the text messages. He never responded to a single outreach. Sims says he's even more suspicious of that text message investigation after his calls with the sheriff.
What did you think when the sheriff said, I had no idea my investigator was a county away?
Well, I mean, the same feeling I had when the guy showed up at my house. This is a conspiracy. Somebody somewhere is pulling some strings to get them to come to put heat on me. And I still think that to this day. I think there's a handful of people involved in it, and I want to get to the bottom of it.
What's his probation status?
In March 2024, weeks into the SLED investigation, SLED agent J.T. Cutchin went to Judge Paul Burch for yet another search warrant to help investigators track down the person behind ththose co-op text messages.
They're wasting their money on those kind of resources, and a senior circuit court judge is issuing warrants on that. Yeah, I got a huge problem with that. His wife is economic development with Lynch's River. That's a conflict of interest.
Our investigation revealed 5 total search warrants issued in this investigation, targeting at least 3 different burner phone numbers. Judge Paul Burch signed 4 of those search warrants, the latest one in August 2024, which contained the following messages sent to another co-op employee. Sharpen that pencil, big boy. You'll need a new resume soon, and he's already turning on you. Don't go down with him. Tell the truth and save your job. And another text to Broughton. Better enjoy it while you can. The Burch name is a powerful one in the state's justice system. Judge Paul Burch is the longest-serving, most senior circuit court judge in the state. His son Mike is the newly elected prosecutor in the 4th Judicial Circuit, covering 4 counties, including Chesterfield, the Burch family's home. The judge administered his son's oath in the ceremony last month. The judge's wife, Kim Burch, is the elected Chesterfield County School Board chair. She also works as an economic development consultant at the Lynch's River Electric Co-op. The Burch's daughter, Ashley Burch, is a special agent with SLED, and Kendall Burch, another Burch daughter, is an attorney who was an assistant prosecutor in the solicitor's office until the first week of February 2025. I asked Judge Burch to interview with me to address Kevin Sims' conspiracy allegations. The judge declined, saying he can't talk about a pending investigation. We weren't there to ask Burch about the investigation. We wanted to ask him about Kevin Sims' conspiracy allegations and whether he had a conflict of interest when he issued those search warrants.
We really appreciate having Honorable Paul and Burch here with us today.
We found the judge at this Chesterfield County Council meeting in January.
Good morning, Judge. Hey, I want to give you one last chance to address these concerns concerning the Lynch's River search warrants you issued.
We sent Burch an interview request back in November, asking him to address whether he was a little too close to the people involved to use his office to help investigators. South Carolina judges operate under a rulebook known as the Code of Judicial Conduct, which contains multiple judicial canons. We asked Burch whether he might have violated any of the canons, which contain statements like, a judge shall avoid impropriety and the appearance of impropriety in all of the judge's activities. We asked the University of South Carolina Law School for an interview about these canons and which ones could apply in this case. USC did not have any law professor available to interview, but the law school pointed us to this judicial canon. A judge shall disqualify himself in a proceeding in which the judge's impartiality might reasonably be questioned.
Did you have a conflict of interest at all in these issuance of these search warrants?
From everybody I've checked with, just to reinforce what my opinion was, I did not have any conflict. Strictly ministerial. There's no guilt or innocence involved in it at all. And I even talked with one of my colleagues about it. Even if a family member was directly threatened, really wouldn't affect that either. Ministerial is totally different from guilt or innocence. Certainly I wouldn't get involved in any guilt or innocence.
The judge clarified, although they have the same last name, he is not related to Bo Burch, the other victim in the incident report.
Even with that ministerial decision, you still had a decision to make as far as did the burden of probable cause, was that met here? Was there any semblance of criminal conduct in these text messages? Did you find that when you issued these warrants?
Just the allegations in them.
The judge also clarified his wife, Kim Burch, is only a part-time consultant at the co-op. And the other pressing question, Kevin Sims' conspiracy allegations.
The man that the investigation is targeted says that he believes that this entire investigation was a conspiracy to have him investigated and or charged, and believes that you may be part of whatever conspiracy he believes is happening here to have him become a target. What do you say to that?
I'm sorry he believes that way. I'm just doing my duties, my sworn duties as circuit judge. I don't even really know some of those fellows up there.
Well, I just want to make sure before we put somebody on TV saying these things concerning you that, you know, the public has a chance to hear from you.
Well, I certainly hope in your professional duties as a reporter, you wouldn't be getting actively involved in criminal investigation yourself until SLED or whoever's investigating. We better leave it at that, okay?
The sheriff says there is no conspiracy, no matter what Kevin Sims thinks this all looks like. His investigator, he says, was simply conducting an investigation. I asked Wayne Jordan to talk with me about the Sims allegations, but Jordan never responded to any of my attempts to reach him.
Some people may look at this and go, with all the crime that's happening, why in the world would the most powerful law enforcer in this county, the senior most judge, sign multiple search warrants all over what's alleged over a few text messages in this incident report? What would you say to that?
We were just doing an investigation. We often have to go to whichever judge is available to us at the time. I don't find that unusual, Judge. Yeah, I really don't.
And I want to clear my name. And I stood up for what was right. If I had to make that decision 10,000 times, I'd make it 10,001. Not one day has gone by did I regret it or even second guess my decision to terminate the CEO. And for that, I was being conspired against and attacked.
As we told you in last week's report, a new trustee joined the co-op board, shifting the balance of power. The new majority voted to rehire Brian Broughton 4 months ago, all while the EPA investigation and an outside forensic audit is still ongoing. The state investigation into those burner phones is not over either. SLED says it's an active and ongoing investigation. But I asked why it's taken more than a year to sort this all out. SLED told me what started as a text message investigation has uncovered other potential criminal acts involving people linked to the co-op. But SLED says its criminal investigation should be finished, quote, very soon.